Ladies and gentlemen, this is the YouTube channel vlog show of inspiration and realness. Also, this is the YouTube channel vlog show of positivity, personality, and fun. This is Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, and now the perpetrator of these shenanigans, Big Beefy E himself from his Big Beefy Man Cave in New Bedford, Massachusetts, Mr. Shenanigans himself, and the two-time Chilling 3000 2022 End of the Year Awards winner, Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. I want to talk about, we're doing the 8th edition of Say the Shenanigan Address. And I want to talk about a specific week, because crazy 2 weeks between August the 3rd and August the 10th. In between that time span, I'm going to let you know what's going on. So this week, these past couple of weeks have been a whirlwind week of emotions for me, and it was, but glad it's over and everything else. And August the 3rd, that's a Thursday morning. It all started, like I said, going to work. Nobody did the job of inside garbage, so I thought to myself, I'll punch in 5 minutes early and I'll get it done. Did that. Got everything done, got the garbage done, bada bing, bada boom, got everything done by 10 o'clock. And then they said, well, while I'm waiting to go on my 15-minute break, I checked my phone. We've been praying for a sister in Christ, Luann Stemper, who has been battling an illness. But the illness could have been cancer. And unfortunately, it was the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that came back and basically shut down her systems. And unfortunately, she passed away, as we say in our church, went home to be with the Lord. And I kind of felt very, very sad. But I couldn't try to, feel sad. I came home and told Mom I know what happened and everything else, so we'll try to figure everything out. So, and then I realized, and David 3000 said, hey, can you I got a doctor's appointment. I may not make it. Can you host the Dugout Crew podcast? I said, sure. So I can do. So he did that. So ended up doing that. And then 4 o'clock, I got out. Then that same, about an hour later, after I got done with the Dugout Crew podcast, I had to go join Brandon Martin and Jordy Scow for the interview for our special guest for episode 200. We aired that a week later, which obviously was a couple of days ago. We did up a couple of days ago. But, so, Jordan, his father, Brandon, and myself were the ones that were able to interview this person. So, a lot was going through my mind, my friend's death and everything else, because she and her husband knew me and my family for over 3 decades. And I've always made her laugh, doing my Donald Trump impression, even though I'm not a big Trump fan. I'm not I'm not even a fan of Trump or a fan of politics. And I just, hear his voice. I've always been imitating him because he talks like he ate a bunch of lemons. So it's like, I don't know why everybody's calling him the orange man. They should call him the lemon sucker, Anyways, I digress. And every time I go, he's very good. And every time my friend Luann would crack up laughing. I would miss making her laugh. So yeah, a lot was going through my mind that day, and so we were getting ready for the interview. So Brandon goes, "Okay, where we go, interview." So I was like, "It's like I got trying to roll in my mind who do we get?" So and he goes, "Oh, this person was a model and 22 years wrestling for the WWE, NWA, and Impact." I'm like, "Okay, all right, we got somebody," and then. He goes, Brandon goes, she's a 3-time women's champion. I'm like, okay. And a 2-time Divas champion. Then that's when I started going, no way. And lo and behold, we got Melina. We got her for the interview, and I was like, how did Brandon pull this freaking thing off? I was standing there going, my hands over my head going, oh my gosh. And then the only, I felt like Eric Young after Shark Boy came out of his coma and started talking like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Remember that segment? And I'm like, holy mackerel. And I think another thing that's going on my mind, and excuse my language on this one, is the holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. That was like running through my mind, and all I can muster up was at that point, in the immortal words of Ernest the Cat Miller, somebody call my mama. And just for them to shock me, and I'm still like this, and I said, I cannot believe I'm going to be talking to Melina, my ultimate wrestling crush. It's not every day you do this. So we did like over almost 3 hours talking to her, and because she had a lot to say. She had a lot to say, and just I asked her the fun question. What's it like working with this person, that person? The segments that she had with Hornswoggle. I asked her what it was like to work with Kairi Sane, aka Kairi Hojo, and I told her, and I kind of impressed. I was like, now I was just showing off my wrestling knowledge about Kairi Sane's career in the WWE. Now that she's coming back, so I'm like, and I'm still trying to say, I'm still just like I'm waking up. Am I pinching myself? Am I alive? Or something like that. It was so. I was trying to have a sense of humor about it, but at the same time, though, it was very, very genuine to see. And just Melina, was my all-time favorite WWE diva. And just for interviewing her is the ultimate honor. I want to thank her. If she's watching this, thank you, Melina, so much from the bottom of my heart. It's a lifelong dream come true for me to talk to you and interview you and all that. And it's, you're a sweet soul, sweet spirit, always a smile. God bless you. And to Brandon, Martin, and Jordy Scow, thank you for that. You knew how this meant a lot to me, and I know everybody else was roasting me, like Romy's roasted me and everything else, making jokes of you standing up. Listen, the reason why I didn't even stand up, because I want to sit down and want to listen to this young lady. I have a lot of respect for her as well. We show respect. That's how we're supposed to be when we have guests on the show. And I think a lot of people may want to make sexual jokes and all that good stuff, but no, Melina is just a sweet, sweet, sweet woman. And we talk about her split entrance of how that's gone. And she spoke very highly of John Morrison. She's probably still on friendly terms with him somehow. So probably looks to him as like a brother now or something like that. So that's something that I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Melina, it was a sweetheart. It was an ultimate honor interview about her. So that lifted up my spirits that day, because, like I said, my friend's death was still a little bit still fresh in my mind and everything else, and for Melina to come in and join us, the Rant and Ravers, for our 200th episode. After we got done the interview, I was still on cloud nine. And then we got the Portuguese Feast coming up, the Feast of the Blessed Sacrament 2023. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you saw all my pictures. Holy cow is all I'm going to say, because I saw a lot more old friends. I ran into a few former Ruby co-workers, former next-door neighbors, just in, and plus fresh from, finding out his wife had passed away. My good friend John Stemper, her husband, was now a widower, was at the Portuguese Feast alongside his son and his son's fiancée. So I got to see Aaron again, Aaron and John. I discussed with them. The fire pit is always at the feast has always been where the ultimate meeting place for everybody. Everybody was there. Everybody was there. So got a chance to talk to them. I asked him how he's holding up and all that, and then he said, listen, I talked about, wearing my I want to wear my Patriots jersey in Luann's honor. So listen, if you give me some time, I'll give you some Patriots stuff from Luann. I said, John, worry about you first. Don't worry about me giving me anything. Don't worry about it. Worry about you. Process this. We'll get through this. You're going to get through this. Just get through this first, with your sons and everything else. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'm more worried about you. And just, I appreciate people wanting to give me stuff, but listen, even after their loved ones are gone, listen, your love, you just lost, the man just lost a loved one. It's like, just take your time. Just please take your time. He said he wanted to go to church. And this was on Sunday. He wanted to go to church, but he said, You know, he couldn't do it. He couldn't muster it up. So, and he says, he says, well, we're probably going to talk about it. I said, yeah, we did. So, we were trying to process everything at that point, and then I thought about, attending her funeral, and he said everything's happening on Wednesday. I said, okay, Wednesday morning. So I knew I couldn't get the day off. I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask my boss, because I was going back to work on Monday, because it was just ask him if I can change my hours just for that one day. So Monday morning came around. This past Monday came around. I talked to my boss, Jim. I told him what was going on, and he said, yeah, no problem. I talked to my other boss, yeah, no problem. So we're good. So just make sure you tell security and all that. Yeah, no problem. I got that covered. So that Wednesday came around. Set my alarm clock at 4 o'clock. Got up, got dressed, left the house around 4:15. Got there, waited till 5 o'clock, punched in. I didn't have to worry about people not doing the garbage. That the inside garbage was done, and the entrance garbage at the mall. Didn't have to worry about that. All I had to worry about was vacuum the carpets, clean the glass doors, clean the outside. We're good. I did all that. Managed to get everything done. So by 8:45. So 9 o'clock rolled around, got out, got changed, went straight to the church. Put on some Spotify, put on some Christian music, and put on some Spotify, and just headed to the church. And because my church was holding her funeral service. Bearing that in mind, that happened. Turned around. That happened. Went straight to the church, and funeral director asked me, "You going to the cemetery?" Yes, and just go over there and park. They'll tell you where to park. So me chugging along with my 2003 Toyota Highlander. Is a park behind the Toyota Tercel, and I had no problem, and I did that. So walked all the way from there, long distance inside the church. So I walked in, paid my respects, and said hi to the family and all. But then I said, I told my parents, I got a weird feeling because between the feast that happened last weekend and this past Wednesday, the funeral, I'm probably going to see a lot more old faces there. And sure enough, a couple of friends of mine that used to be in my church were there. I got to talk to them. There were a few more people in the church. I only said hi, and that was it. Didn't get a chance to talk to them that much. And then we held a service. We talked, we played I Can Only Imagine. And my pastor spoke. After we're done, they said, okay. So we all, so the family went first and everything else. So we got, my parents couldn't go because they had to work. So me and my sister decided, well, we hopped in my car. We waited a while, and then the funeral procession started. We turned on the lights and the hazard lights and put our funeral banner up. So we decided to go. So we went. So we went to the cemetery. We got there. We parked our car, and then we went inside. We went to the same cemetery that we buried my other friend who used to go to my church. We're talking 11 years ago. So we went inside the cemetery. We went to the gravesite where they were not supposed to lower the casket until everybody leaves. And unfortunately, I think somebody didn't get the memo or something like that. The casket's like this way and that way. I'm like, oh boy. And from what I heard from my friend John Stepper, he says the funeral director was not very happy about that. I was like somebody's getting fired or being read the riot act at this point. So, so my pastor, said a little prayer, said some scriptures, and then It concludes our service. The funeral director says you're welcome to go. You're invited to a dinner at another friend's house from our church. They always throw a dinner party or something like that, outside. They had a big tent and stuff. So me and my sister said we're going to go there, and so we sat in the car. We waited about 20 minutes until cars started clearing out. So once the cars started clearing out, the guy that was behind me, my sister, but was parked behind me, and said, "Hey, listen, I'll back up. You can get out, no problem." So we did that. He made sure, backed up. Okay, stop right there. You're good. So we go. I make sure we had room. We go after a lot of cars. And the coolest part of it is that some of the Air Force guys from Aaron's platoon or something like that were there to support him as well, which was really, really super cool. So me and my sister, we headed out of the cemetery. We decided to go to our friend's house, who was they always throw a big party or and a big dinner and everything else, a little buffet. So, but me and my sister were following one of our friends from our church as well, and so we're trying to go to our friend's house. But the problem was one of the roads that lead to our friend's house was blocked off because they were doing construction. But our friend who we were driving behind did not know this, so we're trying. But I knew because I talked to my friend and I asked her, "Hey, how do we get to your house?" Because just some detour signs. You're good. Okay, no problem. So we end up going. So me and my sister were like a couple of audience members on the game show. Take the detour. Next street over. And I think the cop was there. The guy. Oh, okay, no problem. I was gonna roll down and, "Hey Donna, it's me, Eric. Take the detour." So, me and my sister had a lot of fun. We had a laugh. We didn't get mad at her or anything like that. We had a laugh and just like, "Let's go, Donna. Let's go." And I think that my friend Luann Stemper would have loved that. The banter that me and Jasmine had. And she would have cracked up laughing at the two of us if we drove her. But so so it ended up going back to the street. That was blocked off, but here's the thing: that it was only the first portion of that street was blocked off. The rest of the street was good, so the detour can let us go back there. So we drove down the same street. And that was blocked off only. It was, but the difference was it was the first part of that street that was blocked off. The rest of the street was good. So we ended up doing that, and we arrived at the house. We went to the back. We went to the backyard where they had everything, the buffet and all that. Sat down and talked to a lot of folks, and basically asked them how they're doing, how they're holding up, and got this. My friend Elaine, she brought her husband. Her husband Glenn was so happy to see me. "Eric, my boy, what's going on?" It was great, and got a chance to talk to them and say, "Hey, I got a new car and everything else. Life is good." I explained what's going on. My poor mother, though. They were about to ask her. I think a lot of people were asking her how the kids are. She couldn't take it. She said, "I gotta go." So it was really tough on my mother. So I was there, very relaxed, just chilling, eating, chilling, chatting with people, just having a good old time, and reminiscing. So, and a lot of us were mentally drained, and that's understandable. So we ended up making it there, and so we got that. I mean, the day before it was torrential downpours and streets were flooded. Well, I'm like, holy Christmas. So, and the good thing I got the Highlander because the Yaris wouldn't make it in the torrential downpours that we had. We had a couple of tornadoes hit, but didn't hit our city, thank God. It would have been really, really bad. But then you got the next day, the day after the funeral, we got episode 200 Rant and Rave. And the crazy part is that David once again couldn't him and his family want to go on vacation in Cape Cod. It's like, all right, yeah, have me do this again. Listen, I got Rant and Rave 200, and we're starting at an early time. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I've asked him, I said, we got to shorten it up because of that. So when he finally came on, I said, listen, I got to go. I got to, prepare for Rant and Rave episode 200, which starts at 4. And they said, okay, yeah. So we ended up doing that, Rant and Rave 200. We invited a lot of folks on. We invited on the chat. We did Shy Skulls Complex. We did the interview with Melina. That whole thing, and it was great. So now here we are. Here we are. So we survived. So we survived the weeks, those 2 weeks, man. And I gotta tell you, and that's why you have not seen a lot of episodes from the Shenanigan Arcade, because of that reason. So I do, however, want to apologize to you good folks out there for that. So I am going to try to make up for it, and I'm going to try to make up for it tomorrow. So, well, that's all the time we have on this show. State of Shenanigan address, episode 8, and possibly another episode will be coming at you tomorrow. All right. So, until this next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, please take us home. Thank you. Episode 785 is complete. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Lima speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, do it for Bob Saget production, and in association with A Sweet Bowl for Raving Dingleberries Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another great episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Until the next episode, goodbye for now.